And that is our top story for you tonight at 6. The state's highest court has refused to hear an appeal from Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis. This decision upholds a lower court's ruling to remove her from the case against President Trump and more than a dozen other defendants. She had accused them of conspiring to overturn Georgia's 2020 election results. And today, President Trump called the ruling a great decision, and he's now demanding that Willis face consequences.
Now, she should be prosecuted. What she did to people, forget about me, what Fani Willis did to innocent people, patriots that love our country, what she did to them by indicting them and destroying them, she should be put in jail. She's a criminal.
Tonight, we have live team coverage. Grace King will have more on the sweeping indictment and long legal battle that brought us here. But we begin this evening with Zach Merchant, live from the state Supreme Court. So, Zach, what does this court decision mean for the future of the case here?
Yeah, that is the big question right now, and it was a big decision that was handed down inside the Georgia Supreme Court earlier today. It was also a close decision. 4-3, a narrow majority. 3 justices dissented, but that 4-justice majority, they carried the day, and their decision ultimately means that Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis's time leading this case is over, but the case itself may still have a future.
This is the biggest case in the history of American jurisprudence.
Former DeKalb County District Attorney Robert James says the Fulton County prosecution of President Donald Trump and more than a dozen co-defendants has no comparison.
There is no prosecutor that has ever lived that's brought a bigger, more important case.
But now Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis, the prosecutor who brought the charges, is off the case. Following the Georgia Supreme Court's ruling allowing her disqualification to stand, she said she'll now prepare to transfer jurisdiction to the Prosecuting Attorney's Council of Georgia, an independent third party tasked with finding a new prosecutor to lead the case. In a written statement, she said in part, quote, "I hope that whoever is assigned to handle the case will have the courage to do what the evidence and the law demand." Prosecuting Attorney's Council Executive Director Pete Skandalakis says he'll look for another DA's office or qualified attorney to take it on, but admits it may be difficult. James said any new prosecutor would have to answer big questions before agreeing.
Do we have the bandwidth for it, the emotional and psychological bandwidth for it? Or is it something that we just rather not be involved with? The second thing is, do we have the resources?
But that does not mean the case is dead. Skandalakis said if he can't find an outside prosecutor to take it on, the Prosecuting Attorney's Council might take the case itself. In a phone interview, he said, quote, "I think it's important that a conflict prosecutor, a neutral person, takes this case and makes a decision." So the big question now, of course, is how long might that take? We asked Pete Skandalakis that today when we talked with him. He said he hopes to have a new prosecutor lined up and ready to take on the case when jurisdiction transfers to the Prosecuting Attorney's Council of Georgia. How long will that take? He said it could be about 30 days, which would be a very fast development in this case that for the better part of the last 2 years has been moving very slowly. Jennifer?
Yeah, Zach, you're exactly right. This case has been years in the making, and at first it looked as if it would move pretty quickly. A grand jury indicted President Trump and 18 other defendants in August of 2023, and just weeks later, 4 defendants pleaded guilty. But the momentum stalled. Grace King joining us live now from the Fulton County Courthouse where it all began. Grace, what was the turning point here?
Well, it was January 2024 when the defense attorneys began asking questions about District Attorney Fani Willis's romantic involvement. That really changed everything.
The Fulton County indictment began as a historic prosecution.
The indictment brings felony charges against Donald John Trump.
Legal experts say it essentially ended with historic mistakes.
It was a viable case and also a lot of prosecutorial missteps.
Emory Law School professor John Acevedo says the case unraveled in 2024 when defense attorneys accused DA Fani Willis of financially benefiting from a romantic relationship with the special prosecutor she chose to lead the case.
And when they started, these allegations really were not taken seriously. A lot of folks, myself included, they just sounded so sensational, it was hard to believe.
Records show Nathan Wade had earned at least $500,000 more than the others working on the case at the time of a disqualification hearing.
Okay.
It delved into the intimate details of the Willis-Wade relationship.
As he told me one time, the only thing a woman can do for him is make him a sandwich. We would have brutal arguments about the fact that I am your equal. I don't need anything from a man. A man is not a plan. A man is a companion.
Willis argued that's why their relationship ended prior to the indictment and that it would have no impact on a potential trial. But the controversy never went away.
So I think what we're going to see is kind of a narrative of an office that was very ambitious, a DA that was very ambitious, and who, though, was unable to handle these large, sprawling cases.
Now, after that hearing, Fulton County Judge Scott McAfee ruled that either Willis and her office or Nathan Wade had to leave that case. Wade resigned shortly after, but then the Georgia Court of Appeals came in and said that wasn't enough and removed the district attorney's office from the case as well. Live at the Fulton County Courthouse, Grace King, 11 Alive News.
All right, Grace, thank you. And this case was the last of 4 criminal cases brought against President Trump in 2023. Special counsel Jack Smith dropped 2 federal cases against President Trump after he won the November election. They included accusations of mishandling classified documents and trying to overturn the 2020 election. In his hush money case in New York, President Trump was convicted on 34 counts but received no jail time, fines, or other penalties. Right now on our website, 11alive.com, we have a timeline of all of the key moments in Georgia's election interference case, as well as reaction from state leaders. You can find that in the featured section.